Welcome to Scofield Farm. I'm Carice, and today I'm just gonna chat with you and just kind of show you some things that have been going on in our homestead. There's been a lot going on, a lot I have not got down on camera. Sometimes, especially after a shoulder surgery, it's hard for me to carry stuff around. Do you know what I mean? I mean, quite literally carry stuff around. But we have been quite busy. The weather has been on and off, rainy, then absolutely beautiful, then rainy again. And I've had some questions about my pepper plants. They have been yellowing and actually getting a little bit of purpling in them. And you'll have to let me know in the comments if this ever happened to you, because in 15 summers of growing peppers, I've never had this happen. I'm actually starting to wonder if it could be the soil I used, which is a very reputable soil. I don't want to say the name right now just because I don't know if that's it. But I've never had purpling in my pepper leaves except for the ones that are supposed to be purple. So I'm pretty baffled. Last night we fed them all, actually we fed all of my starts with some diluted kelp emulsion. So we just put a tablespoon of kelp emulsion into I want to say it's a gallon watering can and just did the whole thing. And the peppers, I don't know if they look better. I guess it'll take a couple days to tell. The tomatoes look great. I mean, I'm still working on cupping them up. You can look at the last video. I'll link it for you. How I like to pot up my tomatoes. I have a method. It's my method. There's lots of good methods. This is the one that I like. Anyway, I have over 160 tomato plants. We don't have room for that. So I'm trying to slowly deal with it. I mostly am doing things one-handed. I feel like lifting my hand up to here is a pretty big accomplishment, but there's not really a lot I can do with it right now. So it just takes a while. As I said, my tomatoes look great, but I used a different soil, a different potting mix soil when I first cupped up my tomatoes because I bought two different ones, same brand, but two different ones. All that to say, the tomatoes look better. Is that because of tomatoes? Is that because of the soil? I don't know. Gardening, I always feel like I'm learning something. I'm always coming across a new obstacle that I hadn't had before. And, I think I'd probably get bored if it was always the same. So I do enjoy the differences, but I don't like when things that I don't know why they're happening are happening. I'm sure you can relate to that. I think that's a human thing. We want to have control of our life. We're going to put these where there's room. I'll show you right here. Okay. Yellow bell pepper, purple. I have no idea. It's growing fine. It's just got purple. Makes me think it's the soil. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they'll be fine. One year we went to Mexico on our anniversary in March. I had already started my peppers and I gave my kids pretty explicit instructions about how to take care of them while I was gone, water them, bottom water them. Well, they left the lights on for 72 hours straight, forgot to turn them off. And then they also flooded them. I mean, they were saturated, sitting in a couple inches of water still, even with saturation. Even those bounce back fine. So I think they'll be fine. It's just a new thing that I have never dealt with before. So I just can't stop thinking and Googling what causes purple in the leaves on peppers. And is it a big deal? The other night, we went out with our littlest, my husband and I, and we harvested a few things. And it was the first time my husband got to see the asparagus growing. He was so excited. He's so funny. I just love how excited he gets about certain things in the garden that I wouldn't expect. He picked some asparagus. I showed him how to do it. And he just was raving to someone later that night, I think it was my sister, about how homegrown asparagus tastes totally different than the store. What about that one right there? That's a good one, yeah. You don't want to do these? No, not yet?
Not yet. are big.
Now, we're only getting like 3 to 5 stalks of asparagus each time we harvest. So it's gonna take a while till it's a significant portion of a meal, but it's still fun. I mean, we waited 3 seasons to have asparagus, 3. That's a lot of patience. And I feel that way about my blueberries too. I have a video I just posted of my son feeding our blueberries, our hydrangeas, our citrus trees. And I don't know if it's just because I planted the blueberries in the ground and we've got like clay, alkaline soil. We've really had to amend it, and I still, are they doing well? Is it because I planted them next to eucalyptus? Eucalyptus can like stunt growth of things. Is it too shaded? Am I not patient enough? Maybe. But we really haven't got to enjoy many blueberries. Mostly the wild quail around here, they get them. Did you know that quail is the state bird of California? We've got a lot of wild quail, and we don't raise quail. I'd love to find their eggs though. I've heard they're amazing. But these quail, they fly. You hear people who homestead and raise quail and they say that they can't fly, but the wild ones here in California, oh, they absolutely fly, and they sound so fast. Like they're just like a vroom, shooting bullet when they go past you. They're really interesting birds, but they eat my blueberries. So our peach tree is gorgeous. I have to show you again the blossoms. I can't even believe it. We have 3 peach trees, but one in particular has got these bright, bright pink flowers, and it's absolutely off the charts beautiful. And I really hope we get peaches. Last year we got peaches, and last year we had an issue with ground squirrels for the first time on this property. My sister does not live that far away from me. She lives probably 4 miles, maybe. And she's got so many ground squirrels, and we somehow escaped the ground squirrel problem in our area. We have a lot of moles and gophers, and that's why we mostly raise bed garden. Well, the ground squirrels found us, ate my watermelon last year, and ate my peaches and my apples. I didn't really have that much fruit. They all took it. So I'm hoping that this year we actually get some of the fruit too, because the anticipation of planting fruit trees and perennials or things like asparagus, you wait and you wait, and then you just can't wait for that day when you actually get the harvest. I really want peaches. I love fresh peaches. Last year I bought a bunch of nectarines from a friend of mine, and I canned them, and I even made a video about it. It was my first time canning nectarines, and we've enjoyed those so much this winter. We've been putting them in a Thai curry, and I know maybe that sounds weird, fruit and curry, sweet and savory. Oh my gosh, so good. I really should make a video about that this summer. Pumpkin, peaches, pineapple, coconut milk, chicken, Thai basil. It is such a really rich comfort food. It's so good. I have got to can peaches or nectarines again this year. So I have been slowly healing from a shoulder surgery. I've been healing from that. And it's been 9 weeks. By the time I post this, it might have been 10. We'll see how soon I get this up since I had surgery. And I don't know what I was thinking. I knew it would take a long time to heal, but I just thought that I would be further along than I am now. I talked to my physical therapist yesterday, and he was telling me that I absolutely cannot drive yet. And I don't know. I knew that. I didn't feel ready to drive, but it was so discouraging in some ways because I usually drive my boys to soccer games out of town like every weekend. At least in the spring, we only have a couple weekends out of town, but I can't drive. I can't even drive my girls. I can't even drive them into town to their dance practices. And I just totally thought for some reason I would be bounced back more. I thought I would be able to do more of the planting in my garden. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm super thankful that I can pot up any of these tomatoes. Like, I didn't do the actual potting out part, but I'm filling the soil level to be higher. And I'm doing this myself. I feel some independence by doing it. I have to ice a lot afterwards because it's super intense on me, but I just still feel overall a little bit bummed that I'm not further along. And it's like I'm in it for the long game. I need to have my shoulders strong because I'm planning on doing a lot more stuff. I've got just barely scratched the surface on what we want to do in gardening and homesteading, and I need a strong shoulder. That is such a tongue twister. Anyway, I don't know. I'm just telling you guys this because this is really what I'm wrestling with in my mind as I'm wanting to make videos and I'm wanting to show the stuff we're doing on our homestead, and my shoulder holds me back so much. And I really need to learn more patience because I know this is just a season. I know this is not forever. And I know there's things that you're going through too that is a season, and sometimes it feels like you're stuck on it forever. And I just want to encourage you. I want to encourage myself that no one season lasts forever. There are ups and there's our downs, and there's the, like the monotonous, boring part, but things always are changing. And that's one thing I've learned from gardening is things change all the time. Like those beautiful blossoms on the peach tree and my irises. This is the best year for my irises I've ever had. They are absolutely amazing, but they're gonna fade. Their flowers are gonna fade. We're gonna go on to the next phase and next season, and that's okay. And all the good things, they don't last forever. So we wanna enjoy the good things. And the bad things, the hard things, they don't last forever either. And that is where I am right now. So I'm trying to remind myself, hey, it's okay. I've made it this far. I'm doing good. I'm actually, don't have a brace on, and it's gonna get better. It's gonna change. It's gonna ebb and flow, and things are gonna change. There's a little bit into my mind as I think about purple pepper leaves and not being able to use one half of my body as well as I usually am able to. One of the things I wanted to get back to you on is the player piano. My husband is like halfway done tuning it. It was so out of tune. What they did is they got it restrung and they put tons of money into it. And then I don't think they ever tuned it after that. So my husband is a tuner. We do ministry. We obviously homestead. He teaches guitar. Why did I say that? I teach piano, used to teach piano. He tunes pianos. So I married somebody who can deal with an out of tune player piano, but I've got to show you this little clip of my son playing it. It's super old. You have to pump it with your feet. And this is the song Sunrise Sunset, but it is so out of tune that it sounds like it belongs in a haunted mansion or like a thriller movie. It is that crazy. That's hilarious, right? So I am one of those parents that hated the really loud, noisy toys with no turn off button, no off switch that people would get toddlers. And then I realized I got my kids this really loud, out of tune, obnoxiously take over the whole room player piano. I got it for them. There's no off switch. Like, yeah, you could turn it off by them not playing it, but they're all drawn to it like moths to a flame. We've got to finish tuning that thing. I want you to hear it when it actually sounds good. Right now, it sounds crazy, but I had to have that video just to remember how crazy it was sounding in my house. I'm pretty sure we found a spot for it. Okay, half tuned, but I think this is where it's gonna go, at least for now. It feels a little crowded to me to have two pianos in the same room, so I am not positive how this is working, but we're gonna try it out. We're gonna try it out, especially if it's in tune. This could be a good thing and a fun toy for the kids. We have two adult sons. We have one that just turned 18, one that's 20, and both of them are thinking very strongly of going away to school next year. So I will have two birds fly the coop at the same time, which is a little tender to this mama's heart. I'm not gonna lie, I have cried and I have tried to avoid thinking about it, and I'm so proud of them. I want them to do the things that God has put on their heart, but it's hard. It's hard to think of that this might be the last summer for a while that I have everyone home. This might be the last spring, and it's honestly the thought that it's while my shoulder is keeping me from doing everything I want to do. It's a little hard for me to wrestle with. And as I said, it doesn't mean that things are forever changing, but in some ways things are forever changing. So that's a lot on my mind too. I don't know why I'm telling you all this, just because, because you're here, you're listening, and I have someone to process with, and that's wonderful. Okay, real quick, aren't these amazing? Like, this was like tiny, barely above that soil line just a week ago. Tomatoes grow so fast. These are going to be huge by the time I put them in the ground, and I even started them later than I usually do. I would say they're looking pretty good. Lots of work, one-handed, but actually quite beautiful. The tomatoes are going to be great this year. Does anyone else love freesia? It's so pretty. I've had this plant since our very first house. We have taken it with us from house to house. I probably could up-pot it or fertilize it, but I do like nothing, and it's just this beautiful. So many new leaves. These citrus pots are doing fabulous. So I came out here to sit and just enjoy the sunset, the nice temps, and just kind of finished my night with some perspective and fresh air. And I want to show you guys the chicken coop finish. It is not finished. That is why I haven't showed you yet. I will get back to that. There's a lot of things going on. I actually need to go in and check my bees with my husband because I can finally get my arm through a bee suit, to be able to go and see them. And I think we need to feed them more pollen patties and maybe even check if we have to do a split. I feel like we're so behind in that part just because it's been like nice weather, rainy and cold, nice weather, rainy and cold. And I've had this injury that I'm dealing with too, that I'm recovering from. So I'm really excited about checking the bees, but we're just about to have several more days of rainy. So I've got to look and see when it is actually good weather to open them up. You don't want to open them up if it's wet, and you don't want to open them up if it's too cold. So we'll check that out. But yeah, I've got lots of plans, lots of things I'm thinking of. I want to plant more fruit trees. We are going to add and integrate the new baby chicks into our other flock. We really want to add ducks. I'm not sure if that will happen this year. That was also on my wish list last year, and it didn't happen then either. So we'll see how that goes. But if we do, you will be one of the first to know. Yeah, there's just so many things in my mind, things I want to do. We will see what actually happens with recovery from my shoulder and what needs to wait. But the cool thing about homesteading is that there's always next year, there's always next season, and we just keep adding and growing and building and doing what we can and making this a place that we can raise our family, that we can feed our family, that we can bless other people. That is really on our heart too, is to bless other people, let the overflow of our homestead be a blessing to our family and to others. And also, as I said, I can't use all those tomatoes. I wish I could probably use them, but I have no place to put them. So I've sold some locally already, but if you are local, you let me know and I can get you a list of what's still available if you watch this at the right timing. It's a good season. I'm ready for spring. I can't wait to see kind of what unfolds in our family, what unfolds on our homestead, what unfolds in my 2 adult sons, what they decide to do for the fall. There's just a lot of anticipation of so much to come. Have a beautiful day. I hope you're enjoying spring. See you soon.